I want to focus this video on the two wheel routes that at least that I saw in the joint practices with Washington. One of them is in 7-on-7s, went to Justice Hill. Another 11-on-11s went to Keaton Mitchell. In addition, I want to look at the routes that are packaged around the running back wheel, and as best as I can, kind of break down what Lamar's supposed to look at, what he's reading, these kinds of things. Of the two, this is obviously the 7-on-7 wheel concept. Let's look at what's opposite or backside this. Zay Flowers, who's the inside receiver, is going to run a return route. You see that here in purple. In blue, we have a shallow cross by Odell Beckham, the outside receiver, in a dig or basic route here run by the tight end, who's the number 2 receiver. I'm going to refer to these two routes, the red and the blue routes, as a drive concept, which is common. We don't see the outside receiver here until later in the route. I think he's number 1 in terms of the progression for Lamar to read here, and the wheel being 2, then this drag route run by Odell would be the third look in his progression. The outside receiver, played by Mark Andrews, is going to run a post. I'll run the play and see if there's anything I can add to it beyond that. A couple things you'll notice about the running back route matched up on a linebacker. He's hauling it right off the ball. There is none of that looking back that he might run a flat. He's just downfield and outside of the linebacker. I'm not sure, although I'm sure he sees the wheel with his eyes, I'm not sure Lamar even moves his helmet from the seam. That and the fact that it's Mark Andrews running the seam post. Also that you have 3 receivers to the opposite side. And this backside safety is kind of leaning that way. Almost a full field coverage type look on the back end. And he's a little bit slow, even covering Andrews here. Lamar does hit this wheel route, I think, pretty consistently. I remember him hitting Ricard last year. If the coverage is good downfield between these 2 receivers, looks like he's got a space for either one. He's going to come down to Beckham on the drag. Watch it again. This is during the 11-on-11s. Pretty similar look, a 3-by-1 look, the back releasing instantly. This is Keaton Mitchell. Notice the outside receiver, I think that's Aguilar, sets up in a hitch. That's really a designed screen or rub. Of course, Keaton Mitchell is blazing fast. You give him a split second and he's going to be gone. And it's also the second part of the progression, near as I can tell. Now, the camera breaks away and you can't see exactly what's going on here. He needs to catch this football, obviously. This is a good throw. You do hear reports of him having good hands, catching the ball out of the backfield all through training camp. The college tape was very spotty in that regard. There may be factors that you would have to take into account. He may have improved, but there's a big difference between catching the football in training camp and then catching the football in live action where you might get your knees taken out. I'm not saying he doesn't have good hands, but there were numerous drops, including wide open looks in college. In any case, you see the way that the Washington team is playing the 3-by-1 side with this backside safety. In my opinion, he's overplaying this, but this is a full field coverage. He's over there trying to cover up for any kind of cross, of which there is none. So to me, he's well out of position. I like very much, and I want to point this out, what we see Lamar doing with his eyes. We see him once again holding that safety to that side of the field. And then if you watch closely, you'll see a pump fake underneath here to the hitch route run by Aguilar. And that may influence the defender outside of Aguilar to come downhill just a little bit. Again, very difficult to tell because of what happens on camera. Watch it again.